All right, so welcome everyone. We're so happy to have Andrew Falion here with us today from College Steps. Andrew is the program manager for the Northern Virginia College Steps program. Just as a reminder, all of the participants are on mute. So if you can please type your questions into the Q&A box, that would be great. We'll have time to get to those questions. And as always, the recording today and the slides from today will be posted on our transition series Padlet. So with that, let's get started. Andrew, thank you.
Thank you, Diane. I appreciate it. And welcome everyone for joining today. I'm going to give a brief presentation about College Steps, and then I want to save a majority of time for any questions that y'all might have. And I'll also note at the end, we do have a prospective student visit day at Annandale on the 12th and on the 18th, and I'll pass that information on so that y'all can post that if you can make it to campus, which will be an opportunity to talk with our coordinators, get a tour of campus, hear from our students and peer mentors. So with that, I'll jump right in. At College Steps, we're a nonprofit. We provide that customized support for our students with disabilities as they transition from high school to post-secondary education. Currently, we are at Annandale campus, we are at the Alexandria campus, and we're at the Loudoun campus as far as our Virginia campuses. And if you want to see our other campuses throughout the Eastern Seaboard, you can check out our website there as well. And we like to offer that holistic student-centered approach. And really the key component of that is our peer mentors. Lauren and Aaron, who were the founders of College Steps, realized there was a gap in support between high school and college. And we saw that a peer mentor model would work well for students as they build greater independence in college and in life. We focus from a strengths-based perspective, and we provide that customized support as a student works around their courses at Northern Virginia Community College. Of course, we have a quote down here from a parent. We always like to get feedback from our parents and students around how the program has been helpful for them. This individual appreciates the individual and design to meet their son's needs and help him with his long-term goals. And getting comfortable with that transition from high school to college, because we know that can be a challenging time where they're moving from a K through 12 education system where many of the resources are brought to them to an adult education system where they have to be the one to advocate for their social, their academic needs. And they have to be more responsible and independent. And that's where we come in to support our students. Our model is based on 4 key pillars. The academic piece, where we offer that customized academic support. Our mentors are not tutors. We can see them more as coaches. They're not doing the work for the student. They're helping them, guide them through the process, encouraging them to take advantage of natural resources on campus, such as the math center or the writing center, professor's office hours. We offer time management skills and community curriculum. We offer support and feedback on writing assignments or math problems. And like I said, the key piece is helping our students build greater self-advocacy in their academics as they're entering an adult education system. Another pillar is our social integration piece, where our peer mentors, they know the clubs, the great clubs to join, the groups on campus. We collaborate with Student Life, which has a number of clubs and interest groups that students can join. We have social groups within our College Steps curriculum where we're building connections with each other. We're talking about appropriate and inappropriate social behaviors. We're talking about social thinking, and we plan social events in the community. Recently, we visited the 3D printing lab last Friday on campus, and that was a lot of fun, and we got to see how they 3D print materials, and we got to do some laser engraving printing for some Halloween decorations in preparation for our Halloween party, which will be next Thursday. The independent living piece is part of our community curriculum, so we're focusing on those skills like time management, stress management, self-advocacy, personal financing and budgeting, thinking about career development, pre-employment skills. So what are the skills we need to be strong in the workplace setting? We're thinking about campus involvement, how to get involved in campus organizations and student life activities. And that last piece is the pre-employment training. So thinking about where a student is in their long-term career goals, helping them identify majors at Nova and long-term career goals, helping them maybe with resume building or cover letters or interview practice. We don't actually support on a job site, but a lot of the work is done on campus where we can prepare students for interviews and prepare them for success in a part-time or internship down the road. So as I said, we partner at our other campuses. We do partner with the high schools. We don't currently have high school students in our NOVA programs, but within our team, we do a number of high school events and transition fairs. So you're likely to see us there. The college collaboration is the key point. We are an invited hosted service on campus, which means we don't work for Nova. We are here as an invited guest, and we collaborate with the various departments here, whether that's accommodations and accessibility, Nova advising, Nova student life, as I mentioned, Nova career services, the dean's office. So we have strong partnership in order to support our variety of student needs. Of course, our families are key stakeholders, and we set up monthly team meetings with our families. We develop weekly reports to send out to our families to keep them updated on students' achievements and successes, maybe some areas of challenges and areas that they want to continue to improve in. We also partner with agencies such as the Community Service Board of Fairfax County, where many of our students have been lucky to get funding. And if you have questions about that, we can set you up with our admissions director who can provide a more of an overview about funding options, in addition to the Community Services Board. The key component really of college steps is this individualized college plan. We see this as a continuation of a student's IEP with the student at the center of the plan. It's serving as a roadmap. You know, we're all here to help the student, whether that's their parents, their caregivers, the peer mentors, their professors, me as coordinator, but the students at the center of the plan where we're outlining and tracking progress in their long-term, short and long-term goals within those areas of academics, social integration, independent living, community, and pre-employment. So most of, since we don't have high school students here, most of our students are 18, 25, some older, some coming right out of high school, some maybe have done a transition program or some had some experience in the workplace and have joined us a little later. So we take all sorts of students, and within our admissions process, we do ask for an IEP or a psych evaluation and an opportunity for the student and the family to list goals that they want to work on with our team. And after that application is submitted, then they set up a time to speak with our admissions director who goes over our application process, makes sure that we have all the documentation we need, discussing opportunities for funding, and then we set up that interview on campus either at Annandale, Alexandria, or Loudoun. Most of our students are earning a degree or a certificate. Many of our students do end up transferring to four-year schools like George Mason. I've been with College Steps for 7 years now, so I've seen many students transition and even some now graduating, which is a joy to see their journey from us to more independence. And we can kind of highlight looking at a story like Jake, and you can find more information on our website. But we can see Jake at the center of this circle here with these tiers outside being how Jake will improve in his independence while we track progress in the individualized college plan. And we discuss the ICP in those monthly team meetings to see, okay, where do we need to lean in more? Where does the student need to step up? What are some support strategies that would be effective for this individual? And how can we build greater self-advocacy for the student? Like I said, our peer mentors are also a crucial component of the program. They are also college students. They are going through the process of being a college student, potentially transferring. Some of them have background working with students with special needs. Some of them have goals to work in special education or social work or psychology. We like to pull mentors from those areas who are passionate about giving back and working with our population. It's quite an extensive network. As you can see here, 45,000 hours of peer mentors. We have probably one of the largest peer mentor programs in a post-secondary program in the country. And they work with the students on a variety of tasks within those four pillars. And yeah, just to get a little more into kind of peer mentors, and there's probably going to be questions around hours. So generally, our students contract with us for 5 hours a week, 15 or 20 hours. Most students are around the 15-hour range. I don't believe I have a sample schedule, but I believe in the other PDF that I shared does have a sample schedule. But we really work around a student's class schedule, and we do a mix of one-on-one support with our peer mentors, small group activities, and our community seminars, which really target those independent living skills. Pardon me. Lights going out. There we go. um, so yeah, we target within those areas, within the 15 hours, with professor permission and mentor availability, we can support usually up into one class that we feel may be beneficial to have a peer mentor there. It's not an official accommodation at Nova, but they're there to help build greater self-advocacy for the student, be an extra pair of eyes and ears, help them with note-taking skills, help them communicate effectively with their professor. And that's kind of the key components of college steps. Like to jump right into some questions if that sounds good. In other areas maybe that I wasn't able to bring up. I don't know if we've had I didn't see any comments yet, or maybe there are some.
There are. Andrew, it's in the
There are.
Q&A box. Can you see
There it is.
those?
Q&A. Excellent. Yes. Oh, okay. Thank you for sharing so much.
Andrew, if you can kind of read the question out loud because
Yeah,
the
sure. Yeah. Okay. So first one
participants
is
can't see it.
okay. Okay, great. Yes. So the first one is thank you, Andrew, for sharing so much information. My question is specific to Loudoun campus, looking at the individual design for a student with one-to-one medical support and behavioral with social interaction. How would this student create a path to steps? Can steps be invited to the current high school to share this information to students and help create a path? Yeah, definitely. We do give presentations at high schools. We don't start that contract with students in high schools. That's a goal of ours to hopefully be able to connect with local high school students so we can get them started early. Um, but we can definitely come to a high school or come to a class or meet with a special educator to share more information about our program. And like I said, we do have these prospective student visit days, which I'll share the information with Diane so that y'all can get that if you're able to make it, or have them at Loudoun, or have one at Annandale, and then we'll have one at Alexandria. And I believe they're all next month. And, I can sit here and talk about college steps and all the benefits that I feel that it provides our students and peer mentors, but I find it so empowering to hear directly from students and peer mentors about what they like about college steps, kind of what they wish they had known before they came into college, kind of the tips and tricks of college and adjusting to an adult education system, what the mentors like about their role, and how we build community within college steps. I hope that answers your question. Anything else I left out?
I think you got that one. They
Okay,
heard a
great.
lie.
Excellent. Yes. Another one is you mentioned up to 25 years that we understood to be only 22. Yeah, Norma, there are cases where students might come to us a little later. For example, they might have had job training experience. They might have been working for a while. They might have been in transition programs. Usually our students are coming to us between 18 to 22, correct? But, we can make that exception for older students, depending on the individual. And that's another good question to bring up to our admissions team making sure that it's a good fit for the students. And it's kind of the nice thing about Nova too, is you have a lot of individuals, maybe even coming back to school that took some time off. You have students of all ages. You have the students right out of high school. Like I said, you have students coming back. You have all many different individuals at different points in their life, which is nice to have that variety for a community college. And can students do steps while in high school? Well, like I said, unfortunately, we don't have that set up yet, but at our other campuses in New England, we do, and our admissions team can explain more about that. On our website, we do have a contact us page, and I'll send that link as well, where you can set up a time to speak with our admissions director, who will be able to explain more about that.
Andrew, do most people have they already been applied and are registered for classes at Nova and then contact College Steps, or are they done simultaneously?
That's a great question. It could be both. I think it is helpful for students to go through the NOVA process first, so they're aware of how NOVA does their procedure, how they're aware of how to register for classes. They have time to do a orientation, either online or in person, getting a campus tour. It just gives the families and the student more information as they head into College Steps. Like I said, we collaborate with them, but we're not an official we're not an official NOVA program. So there is a distinction there. And like I said, we don't provide those specific accommodations. So I also recommend, where possible, students apply for accommodations. Of course, that is by student basis, and students have to self-disclose in college in order to receive accommodations. But it's helpful to go through that process first, if possible, or simultaneously. Um, like I said, the first step is to complete the application, then have a brief meeting call with our admissions team. Then we set up the interview at the campus, or we can even do the interviews virtually if that meets families' needs better. Um,
There's another question, Andrew. Yeah.
okay, yeah. What is the baseline for acceptance? Fifth grade level reading, is it individual to the student? Is the interest? Is it to learn? Do they need to complete the DARS? Is that DARS there?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we do have students who are also involved in DARS, working on some of those job coaching skills. Some have part-time jobs. Some are focusing only on college. There's really no baseline between intellectual and developmental disabilities that we accept. You know, it's um, Nova used to have placement tests to determine the appropriate math and English course to start with. Now students self-place based on what courses they've taken in high school. If we're concerned about a student's academic ability to be in college, we want to start small, one class. Students can even audit a class, take the pressure off of the grades. That is an option. Our students need to be enrolled in at least one class or audit a class.
I just want to kind of follow up on that
Yeah,
question a little bit. These are all different entities. So there's Northern Virginia Community Colleges, which is a public institution, right, for school.
correct.
Then there's College Steps, which is private, that is like a companion support service to Northern Virginia Community College. And then there's DARS. That's a completely other entity that helps people get a job.
Exactly.
DARS can also help pay for some education. I don't believe DARS has ever paid for College Steps. Is that right?
No, majority
Yeah,
of our students are getting funding from the Community Service Board of Fairfax County, I believe, through self-directed services.
right.
Um, so that is something you could talk about with CSB, and as well with our admissions on if your family would qualify, and the steps to be able to seek out that funding. Um, and the other entity, of course, is Nova Accommodations. So if students apply to College Steps and they're accepted, it doesn't mean that they have gotten their accommodations. I believe anybody who applies to Nova is automatically accepted, assuming, there's not any big red flag, maybe criminal background and that sort of thing, but they have a full acceptance, I believe, for any student. that answer that question?
Yes, I think
Okay,
so. Then
great.
do you have a
Actually, another
contract
one.
with George Mason
Oh,
or
there's George
just with
Mason.
Nova?
No, we don't currently. George Mason does have three programs I'm aware of.
Yeah.
They have the Mason
We
Life program.
Yeah, we just had them present
Oh, awesome.
this week early. So for the person who's asking this question, they do have two programs called the Executive Functioning Program
Yep.
and the Mason Autism Support Initiative. Both provide similar supports like College Steps does. And both of those presentations and their slides are on our Transition Series Padlet. So you can find that information
Yeah.
out.
And many of our students end up attending one of those programs after Nova. They like to start smaller at Nova, smaller class sizes, more affordable tuition, a little more wraparound support than they might get in Massey, more hours. And then when they transition over there, they're at a better place in their academics and their social life. So it's a good opportunity to build even further independent living skills and have that community over there at a bigger university.
There's another question. How long does the process take?
Is that the
Uh,
application process
yeah,
or?
I'm not sure. Is that the application process or
Oh,
yes?
yes, they say yes. Yeah, so we have rolling admissions. So when we get an application, you will hear from our admissions director um, confirming your application, and they might also list if we still need to receive any supporting documentation. You're set up the meeting with them to review our admissions process, talk a little more about college steps and the support we provide, what we can and can't do, and then we have that interview process. So we kind of have students who are applying to us at all different stages in an academic year because of the rolling admissions. The sooner the better for the upcoming year. So if you have students who are interested in spring semester, they should apply now. If they're interested in next fall, they should probably apply in early new year, maybe around January, February. But they could even get applications in now for fall. We'll take those and we're even start doing the interviews. The sooner the better, because then you can also simultaneously focus on the Nova path, making sure you have your application, making sure that you're registered with accommodation services, ensuring that you have some advising, and you know what classes you want to take at Nova.
Thanks, Andrew. All good
Welcome.
questions.
Yeah, great questions. Yeah,
Are
keep
are
them
there
coming.
any other questions that people have?
Yeah, you're welcome.
Right.
Yeah,
And I think I will let you go. Everybody can have the rest of their hour back. So Andrew, thank you very much. This was
you're
great
welcome.
information.
Thank you so much. Appreciate everyone joining, and I'll pass on those student perspective visit days, which I said if you can make it, I highly recommend because you get a sample of how College Steps looks.
Great. And I'll share that with
Awesome.
everyone. Thanks.
Hey,
Thank
thanks
you
so
so
much.
much.
Yeah, y'all have a great day. Thanks for attending.